Are you an insurance agent that really desires to become a top Final Expense Telesales producer? Well, I'm going to give you a word-for-word script on a system that can work for you. Very simple. I hope this blesses you in powerful ways. The first question you're going to ask, we're going to get right into it, my friends, is what would? Write this down. What would? All right? What would your family do financially when that bad day comes and those bills become due almost immediately? What would they do to pay for burial and cremation? What would is so powerful. Another way to say it is, Mrs. Johnson, what would your family do when, let's say in the future, they find themselves in a funeral home and they've got to make some really tough decisions? What's your favorite songs? We're going to get your obituary ready. And at the end, when they choose burial or cremation, caskets, urns, all these horrible decisions that nobody likes making, the last question that funeral director is going to ask is, okay, sign the line, we need dollars. When they ask for thousands and thousands of dollars, where's that money going to come from? Ask where is, all right? Great questions to ask. Where's that money going to come from? Listen, you're going to learn so much from this. The next question that you're going to ask is, how would? Are you ready? How would? How would your family pay for this financially? And then how would that make you feel knowing that they're in a position that's not comfortable? Are you okay with that? Listen, are you okay with that? But ask, how would that make you feel knowing that financially there's nothing in place for them to protect them from that bad day? How does that make you feel, Mrs. Johnson? Ask about feelings. Remember, everybody, people buy based on emotion, and then they back it up with logic. But we've got to go deeper if you want to have better conversations that result in hopefully better conversions. It's not pressure tactics. It's pointing into not the present, but pointing into where is the future going to take them. We got to look at this. This is so important. It's no different than Morpheus in the Matrix, right? You got to look at the full picture. What would your family do financially to pay for burial or cremation since you don't have anything in place? What would they do? And then listen. And then ask the second one, how would that make you feel knowing that that's not a great place for them? From what you shared with me, how would that make you feel? Listen. How would they come up with that money? Like realistically, how would that get paid when they ask him for that bill? When that bad day comes, that bill comes, how would they pay for these things? And then the last question is, if you could provide tax-free benefits that are left behind for your family when that bad day comes, are you against providing blessings for them instead of what looks like is going to get left behind in the future? Would you be against locking in tax-free benefits and providing blessings for them? Because that burden's not good for anybody. Are you against that idea, Mrs. Johnson, if it wouldn't take food off your table? It's all about the families. It's all about their future, not yours getting paid. The deeper problems that you can solve, you're going to realize you're needed. So remember, it's very simple. If you're taking notes, what would it look like for your family financially when that bad day comes and thousands of dollars are going to be needed? What is that going to look like for them? How would they pay for cremation or burial since there's no insurance coverage in place right now? How would they pay for these things? What is that going to look like for them? And then the last question, if you could pay for cremation and burial in a tax-free manner and remove the burdens for your loved ones, would you be against that idea if it didn't take food off your table, Mrs. Johnson? When she says, no, I'm not against that, then I can't wait to help you. Let me see what I can do. Then uncover the opportunity, but you've got to remove yourself from this position where you're somehow some order taker that's going to say, you want to buy life insurance, it'll pay for burial, cremation, it's this price. You've got to focus on what the future looks like. Where do the problems lie so that life insurance is seen as needed? You've got to create the urgency, not through pressure, by really posing what's going on in the future. So very simple questions for you. What would your family do financially when that bad day comes and thousands of dollars are going to be needed and necessary at the worst day of their lives? And then go, what would that look like for them? Where would that money come from? How would, is the next question, how would that impact your family if there's no money coming? How would that impact them in their future? Listen, questions control calls. It's not being a pressure person, it's posing a real problem. What would that look like for them? How would that make you feel? And then, if you is the last question you're going to ask. If you could solve that equation financially for your daughter and your family, are you against providing tax-free benefits and blessings for them so that the cremation and burial is paid for potentially? Are you against that idea if it didn't take food off your table? And when they say, no, I'm not against that, go, I'm so glad we got in touch today. I'm going to do everything I can to try to assist you. And then ask how's their health, ask about their medications, ask about what you can do to solve their problem. It's not about being a pushy insurance agent. We hate those people, right? But this word for word script, what would, how would, and if you, is going to help you cross hopefully that finish line in your career, because so many insurance agents are uncomfortable asking questions that are needed and necessary to ask. You want to know what they want. Do they want burial? Do they want cremation? Cremation is a cheaper cost. And you know what? Let's just talk about it in the beginning. When you're somehow this final expense professional, you've got the strength to do it. And when you have deeper conversations that are more connective, watch, you'll close more business. Talk about, I don't want to take food off your table, Mrs. Johnson, but it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like you really care about your loved ones and you want to not be one that leaves behind bills to your family, but it sounds like you want to leave blessings behind when that bad day comes. Am I wrong here? And she just go, no, you're not wrong. I can't wait to see what I can do to help you, Mrs. Johnson. This is so important that you just follow a very basic template. What would the future look like, right? Look at it that way. What would your family do when that bad day comes? Where would the dollars come from? Because it's not cheap these days, right? Nothing seems to be cheap. What would that do to them in their future? It's already a tough day. How would that make you feel knowing that things weren't taken care of? How would that make you feel? Ask those questions. If you could provide tax-free benefits for your loved ones when that bad day comes through final expense life insurance, would you be against that idea, providing it doesn't take food off your table? When they say no, I'll do everything I can to serve you, Mrs. Johnson, and go right back into your normal script. These 3 questions sound simple, but it'll be seamless for you when you just practice them. What would, how would, if you may take you from where you're at now to becoming a producer where you go, you know what, I'm proud to be needed. I'm proud to be a final expense insurance agent that is intentional in how I connect to my client, what they want me to do for them. I'm not here to just be some dog and pony show of an insurance agent that's like, buy insurance, you need 10 grand, you need 20 grand. We got to be sensitive, but you've got to be sincere in asking the right questions, because if not, you're just a peddler. When you're a problem solver and you ask, what would your family do? How would that make you feel? How would they pay for these very real bills that are going to just come blowing in out of nowhere? How are they going to handle those things? Are you okay with that? Ask a question. And if you could protect your family through tax-free life insurance benefits, tax-free final expense insurance benefits, are you against leaving them in a beautiful place, providing it doesn't take food off your table? When they say no, I'll do everything I can for you. Be a servant. It's going to help you. And if we can do anything to help you as an insurance agent become a top producer, we do recruit agents nationally to sell life insurance, Medicare insurance, and a ton of annuities, face-to-face, but more importantly, in the telespace. So free resources for you, no matter what work family you align with, at jasonfinalexpense.com. We appreciate you watching. Thank you for subscribing. We will absolutely give you more content that will hopefully move the needle for you to become more needed. If you could do me a favor, like the video, share it with a buddy if it brought you value, and if it doesn't bring you value, my goodness, tell me in the comments below. I appreciate you greatly. We'll see you soon, my friends, and remember, you have what it takes. Just pose the right questions, and you may see your business go from here to where you want it. We'll see you soon.